Greetings, Patho students. My name is Glenna Bayer, B-A-Y-E-R, and I'm your instructor for this online course, HCR 240, Human Pathophysiology. This is 4.0 units, and I want you to know how excited I am to be able to teach you this semester. I have been teaching patho and pharmacology online for about the past 6 or 7 years at MCC, as well as full-time. I just recently retired from being full-time faculty in the nursing department, teaching Block 3, and also serving as the paramedic to RN transition program coordinator for paramedics who would then get into advanced placement. I have pretty extensive clinical experience. I mean, I'm in my decades of nursing. And I'm really happy to share this content with you. I feel patho is extremely important. In our traditional program, we say that patho is integrated into the nursing courses, although I feel that pathophysiology does deserve a standalone course like this. And it is required for most students who are going on to get their bachelor's degree. So I'm excited to have you here. I'm also excited this is a full 16-week course so that our weekly chunks of work will not be so overwhelming to you. This is a great course for nursing students that are also in the queue waiting to be admitted, although these days I think the queue has been reduced greatly by our CEP program. I've worked to make the reading assignments and the online learning activities relevant to nursing. I'm always about what do nurses need to know, both in pharmacology and pathophysiology. What is it that nurses need to know? How is it that nurses can take this content and be able to provide better and more safe and effective nursing care for their patients? You will be facing NCLEX at some point in your future. That's the licensure exam. And much of what Maricopa nursing curriculum is geared toward is your successful completion of that exam. And you'll be interested probably to know that nearly 50% of NCLEX content is categorized between the topics of physiological adaptation, management of care, and reduction of risk potential. And those categories all very closely relate to the knowledge base that you'll obtain in this course. I'm assuming that you've all completed anatomy and physiology so that you know what is normal in the human body. In pathophysiology, we focus on that which is not, that which is abnormal, diseased, or damaged. And we look at how the body reacts. We look at the signs and symptoms that the patient presents with. What does the patient feel? What do we find when we're assessing a patient? And we also include, as well as physical exam, we look at some laboratory and imaging results as well. And then in some cases, we also look at interventions, not in great detail because this is not a strictly nursing course. I will be focusing on adult pathophysiology. Your book may refer to some pediatric considerations. You will have a PEDS semester as you go through the nursing program, and I feel that that's enough for you to be refining your knowledge of human pathophysiology to that of a pediatric patient. We'll be using the Lippincott resources, which is a switch. The nursing program at Mesa has switched over from Elsevier to Lippincott resources. So in order to stay in alignment with them, I've switched both my pharm and patho courses over to Lippincott resources. This will be my first semester teaching in this format. I have spent time familiarizing myself. I have used their DocuCare in the past. I think it is awesome. It is the greatest invention to help our students start to get familiar with electronic charting and all that that entails. So I am excited to be using their resources for this course as well. You need to know that your course, once you've enrolled, page 4 of the syllabus goes over The enrollment instructions, it's actually only 3 steps to get you into the course on, it's called The Point, the Lippincott website where the course is housed is called The Point, and this course is called Course Point. So that's the format that is being presented. They've taken the author's material and put it in such a format that fits into what they call Course Point. And you will have access to this course for 12 months on the Lippincott site. However, the ebook that you get in conjunction with this course, once you download it, that ebook is yours forever, and you can download it as many as 4 times. So I've got it on my computer that I use in my office here, and I also have it on my iPad because I like to be able to read when I'm at the airport or on a plane or whatever, when I don't have access to internet. You can download it onto your phone or to, if you have 2 computers or if you have a stand-up and a laptop or whatever, you can figure that out. I would like to proceed to take you on a little tour of things you need to know. We're not going to spend time on Canvas. If you are not familiar with Canvas, I've included in your pre-course email, I've included some links for tutorials for Canvas. Canvas has been around for a while, so I'm kind of hoping that most of you or all of you have some experience with Canvas. And you'll be spending time between Canvas and the Lippincott site because you do have some assignments that reside actually on Canvas. Your case studies, there are 5 of them. You'll find those on Canvas, and you'll submit your responses to those case studies on Canvas as well. So what I'd like you to do is print out the syllabus and schedule. It was sent to you in your pre-course email. It is also on Canvas. So if you're watching this video, you're in Canvas already. So go to the syllabus tab on the left side of your screen and open up that document and print it. Do whatever you need to take those deadlines and due dates and incorporate them into your personal devices or whatever you use to figure out what you're supposed to be doing on a certain day. So I don't want you to be left behind or lose points when you overlook due dates or deadlines for things. So have that syllabus in front of you. We're going to go over that next, and then we'll spend some time on the Course Point website. Thanks. Okay, this is our current semester syllabus. As I mentioned, I do want you to print this out and look this over. You've got important dates up here. There's also a opportunity for you to get some extra credit in the first week in the Getting Started module. There is a syllabus quiz that's worth 2 extra credit points that must be completed before the end of the first week. You also have a chance to earn 1 extra credit point by doing a practice case study, which resides in Canvas, also in that Getting Started week. And you also have a chance to pick up, actually 2 more. 1 extra credit point by posting an introduction, a video introduction of yourself, and then an extra credit point by going to Prep U in the Lippincott course and completing the practice quiz. It's called Getting Started Practice Quiz. So put all that together, and that's 5 extra credit points that you can earn during week 1. But as I say, 2 of those points come from a syllabus quiz, so you're going to have to be referring to your syllabus. Here you see that on page 5 are the enrollment instructions for your Lippincott course. We have the course description, course competencies, the grading scale. This is a HCR course, healthcare related course, so we use the same grading scale as the rest of the college, with 70% being your low C. And here's how you will earn points: 50 points each from the 4 exams that we have, and then 5 points for each case study, and then 75 points for the final exam, which will be comprehensive. We want you to use your Canvas gradebook to track your course points. You might see that you're accumulating some points in the Prep U. I will take the points that you earn on your assigned exams in Prep U and transfer them over to the Canvas gradebook. So your exams in Prep U will be open for 3 days and 2 nights. They open on a Sunday at 6 a.m. and close on a Tuesday at 10 p.m. And again, refer to your schedule for when those are. If you're having personal issues that prohibit you from being available during this 3-day, 2-night period, you need to contact me in advance. Too often I have students that contact me afterwards when they see a 0 that's been posted in the gradebook, and the students then communicate with me, sometimes a legitimate reason, sometimes not so legitimate reason why they missed the deadline. But it is your adult responsibility to incorporate this schedule into your life schedule so that you don't miss these exam periods. Your online learning activities are the assigned reading in the ebook itself, the assigned case studies that are located in Canvas. I do encourage you, strongly encourage you to test your mastery of new concepts and new content by doing weekly self-assessments in Prep U. And as you start to be more active in Prep U, I'm not talking about the assigned exams, but as you go on week to week and test yourself on chapters, you will see your mastery level climb as you put more and more questions and answers into your own data bank there. And then the 4 scheduled exams and the final exam that are found in Prep U. The course is open now, so from now henceforth, I prefer to be contacted within Canvas versus my maricopa.edu email. I will see it. I can see it on my phone. I have lots of ways that I receive notifications that you're trying to talk to me in Canvas. So please use Canvas versus my maricopa.edu email. Attendance policy, well, basically this is an online course, but this is telling you that you cannot fall behind. If you are inactive for more than 1 week, that's kind of equates a no-show in the online world. So you will receive an email from me before I drop you from the course for what we call non-attendance. And please do note those important dates that are listed in the syllabus on page 1. It is your responsibility to understand the policies that are listed in the syllabus and the guidelines that I'm communicating to you during this video. Also, the rules and regs of the MCC student handbook, and here's a link in case you want to go take a look at that. Resources and academic support. This is standard information that we are now including in all syllabi for our school about smart thinking online tutoring, about the Learning Enhancement Center. Basically, there are so many resources that there are really no excuses for students not to be successful in their face-to-face or online courses. There's counseling services available for you as a student at MCC, and this could be totally unrelated to your academic work, but it could be related to your personal or life situation, and it's free for you to take advantage. Academic misconduct and dishonesty is all outlined here. There is 0 tolerance, then a disability support services statement, and here we have on page 5 your enrollment instructions for the Lippincott resources. If you use this link, this takes you to the MCC store on the Lippincott site. That affords you a discount. I believe it's a 20, I don't know. I believe it's a 20% discount. So you definitely want to purchase your Lippincott resources through the MCC store, and this is updated for spring 2019. Because our whole entire nursing department uses Lippincott resources, it'll have many things listed there. Scroll down to look for this course, which is HCR 240, and you'll find Course Point book bundle there. Then please note, once you've got that in your shopping cart and it's paid for, now you own the course, you have to enroll in a class. So you have to join a class, and you'll join the class according to the section number that you enrolled in at MCC. I have 2 concurrent sections running here in this Patho course. So if you're in the ending in 4.3 section, you're going to use this class code to get into the class that matches with that section. If you're in the 4.1, you're going to use this class code, etc. And then here we have the schedule. And this is your getting started week 1. It begins on January 14th and it ends on January 20th. So our weeks begin on Monday and end on Sunday at 10 o'clock. I call this the success module. This is where you'll have a chance to earn this extra credit that I referred to. And before you get into any of that, I'm encouraging you to go through these tutorials that are found on the Lippincott site so that you will not be fighting the technology as you get into the course, but you'll be able to master it. And then we have our weeks equals modules in this course and what the reading is assigned. Then when there's extra assignments, they're over here in red. For instance, in week 4, you have your first case study. Now you've already done a practice case study up here, I hope you have, for an extra credit point to get you familiar with what that's like. You read the case study on Canvas and then you respond as if it's a discussion. The rules for the case study are, I don't want any cut and pasting, copy and pasting. Whatever the question you're answering, please know that I already know the answer. And so I don't need you to be teaching me what the answer is. I don't need you to be copy and pasting out of your textbook and putting that in as your response. This is a chance for you to demonstrate to me that you have mastery of these concepts, that you understand in your own words what are the nursing considerations, what are the patient teaching points, what are the labs I'm going to be looking at and why. I do want you to limit it to about 150 words. You don't get extra credit for the length. So please don't think that you have to go on and on. Simply answer the questions. They're all pretty straightforward, but no copying and pasting. It should be in your own words. In week 4, you have a case study due, and then in week 5, you have your first course exam. Course exam number 1, it's found in the point in Prep U, that's right. It opens on Sunday, closes on Tuesday. And in this case, it tells you it covers weeks 2, 3, and 4 content. Because recall, week 1 was all tech and getting to know your resources. Your first course exam will cover basically chapters 1 through 10. And so on as we go through the, let's see, we've got spring break in here somewhere. Spring break. There's no assignments for you in spring break. That's March 11th through March 15th. And I don't count it as a week either. So we have week 8, then we have spring break, then we come back for week 9 after that week off. And I just want to bring something to your attention at the very end of the course. We have our final exam. This is a little bit different in that it will open on Sunday, again, like they all do. It will close on Wednesday at noon. So this is the one exception to exams closing Tuesday at 10 o'clock. I leave it open just a little bit longer, and then I'll be able to process all the grades and likely post them on Thursday morning. So that concludes overview of the syllabus and course schedule. Okay, here's a look at the point. Once you complete the instructions on page 4 of your syllabus, those 3 steps, you should be into the online course. And this is me, obviously, but your name would be up here after you sign in. And then I usually recommend that you start by clicking on My Content, and you'll go down to find your course. So let's do About This Course. And let me point out that this is where you'll find a lot of your tutorials and user guides. So like I say, this is called a course point course. So this is a course point user guide, but this is a quick start course point student guide. So I would probably recommend that you start with the quick start because that's going to give you the major items that you need to be successful. And then there's one more resource I want to show you up here under customer success. There's faculty training and student training. If you choose student training, it'll take you actually to some videos. You're going to say that you're a nursing student. And then the 2 areas here that you want to look at, you're taking a Lippincott course point course, So go in here to look at a few videos that could be helpful. And then the other aspect of your course that you have access to is Prep U Adaptive Quizzing. So these are the two that I would open. You're going to do this once, so invest some time in week 1 to familiarize yourself with these resources. I don't want you to get halfway through the course and realize, oh, there's this awesome resource that I didn't know about. And let's see, there's one other here, Vital Source ebooks. So this will actually give you those fine tips on how to use the ebook to its maximum potential, how to do highlighting. I think there's like 10 different colors of highlighters you can choose, how to organize your highlights, how to share your highlights with fellow students if you choose to, how to do, you can do text to voice, text to audio, so you can actually have your book read to you on certain devices. I know that on the iPad that works. And some other aspects of ebooks that will be helpful to you. So I told you 2, but I really meant 3. So Lip and Cut Course Point, Prep U Adaptive Quizzing, and Vital Source ebooks. Those are 3 areas where you'll find some helpful tutorial videos here. So let's back up. You'll find that up here under Customer Success Student Training. So we are actually in your course, right here, course. We're not in the book, but we're in the course. We'll talk about the book in a minute. These are instructions on how to actually download your book. If you're not familiar, or if you don't already have a Vital Source account, and you decide what devices you want to put your book on. The learning objectives, the animations, the tutorials, the drug calculations, interactive case studies. These are not the case studies that you're going to be doing for points. Those are found on Canvas. And the reminder of that is on your schedule. It says they're found on Canvas. And it also will remind you as you march through Canvas. So let's go to the ebook here. We'll go to the Vital Source bookshelf because I've already downloaded it. And your left side menu is how you navigate around different units and chapters. So my recommendation is that you'll have a choice when you download to either go with e-publishing format, EPUB, which is the editor's publishing format, or PDF. My recommendation is that you go to the EPUB because that is the resources and the pages formatted the way the author thinks they're done most logically. So in this chapter, which is loaded with animation, this is awesome because in this chapter they put all this animation in the front. It also appears as you go through page by page. So these videos right here actually combine some of those really important concepts and show you, and I think you'll agree that showing or demonstration is always a helpful learning tool when you're trying to differentiate concepts like that. Here's pathophysiology basics, some drug calculation quizzes. And in this format, you're going to simply go down to go to the next page. In the iPad format, you'll swipe to switch pages, turn pages. There's great graphics throughout the course. And the other things you'll find, I mentioned the videos already. There are summary concepts. This is what I want to bring your attention to. It is not my expectation that you're going to read these chapters. Some weeks you have 4 chapters to read, or cover rather. We're going to cover content that resides in these 4 chapters or 3 chapters. I don't expect you to read the beginning to the end of every chapter. I expect you to do what I call smart reading. You might call it skimming, or you might call it something else. But smart reading is paying attention to what the publisher has done to bring forward important key concepts. And this is what this publisher has done. It's called Summary Concepts. So if it was me, I would be going through just like I did. Okay, we've got these, we've got these. And remember that my focus in this is what is important to nurses. And I'll tell you right now, for instance, microtubules, yeah, not too important to nurses. Interesting, really, really interesting to know about. And obviously, if there's some disease process related to your microtubules, it's going to be important to you and your patient as well. But I'm more important with that what floats to the top. What are the important key concepts? So if I were to just look at summary concepts and find that there was something here that caused me puzzlement, then I'd go back and read more about it. So the videos, the summary concepts, and then there's some, we'll see if we can find some here, understanding boxes, I call them, where they've taken a concept and they've broken it down with graphics. I don't expect you to be able to memorize all this, but take a look at something that the publisher has brought to the front forward as important. And here's a better way to help you maybe understand it. And then there is also something called research updates. Let's see if we can come upon a research update. Here, research update, inflammation and mental illness. When you open this, it tells you, it's a little paragraph, not much, but read this. It talks about some really, really exciting new information that we've always known, for instance, that interleukin-6 and C-reactive protein are linked with inflammatory disorders and problems with the immune system, like heart disease, like diabetes. But now they're finding that these two elements can also possibly be linked to the development of depression and psychosis. That is huge. That is huge information that affects the way we look at and care for patients with mental health issues. So research updates is another thing to watch for. And then there's something called misconception alerts. Let's see if we can find something. Here, misconception alerts. So you open that and it tells you simply that, for instance, here's a question. The process responsible for generating and conducting membrane potential is, and you have these 4 choices. And it'll say over 1/3 of students who answered this questions in Wolters Kluwer adaptive learning, which is what you're going to be doing, Prep U, powered by Prep U, answered that the correct answer to this question was polarization of charged particles. I'm thinking they were guessing, but anyway, that is incorrect. It is really the capacity to diffuse current carrying ions based on the difference in concentration. So it has more to do with diffusion of current carrying ions across the membrane, looking for that equilibrium. So the correct answer is really this. So they're telling you that PrepU has generated information that says many students, in this case 1/3, have this misconception that it is actually the polarization of charged particles. Not right. So I appreciate that they're actually putting these misconceptions right into the textbook so they can get you back on the right track. So throughout the chapter, you're finding summary content. Remember, you're still in one chapter. So I don't expect you to read page to page, but go through and look for those highlighted important characteristics that the publisher has brought forward for you. Or a unit like this where we're talking about, for 2 weeks, we'll be talking about cell and tissue function. Obviously, there's going to be terminology that I'm going to want you to focus on so you understand what various terminology means. So that is about it. Don't just watch this video and think you've got it. Please go and do the tutorials in the point so you have a firm grasp on how all these work. You see down here are your highlighters. You can make the text bigger or smaller. You can print pages out if you like. Don't go crazy in that regard. Oh, if you're doing papers, you can, this will create citations for you if you're doing papers. so that you don't get caught for plagiarism. And remember, this is your ebook forever. So it's a great, great resource to have. So I thank you, and that about wraps up my instructor intro. Thanks.